Well, good evening and welcome to Airmanship 2.0 case study number 5, professional approach, and of course question mark. We're going to look at this case study to see if we all think this was a professional approach to the accident flight this evening. I'm Dave Cook. I'm the Executive Director of the Center for Airmanship Excellence. I'm going to be working with you on this case study tonight. Well, first of all, let's start out with the crew briefing. You should have a window pane up on the upper right hand side of your screen with this control panel. The orange box with the white arrow in it collapses and expands your control panel so you can get it out of the way if it's bothering you. We have a raise your hand icon on the control panel, and if you have a question or comment, please raise your hand. We have many people on the webinar this evening, and the way this GoToWebinar system is set up, I just have a very small window with the participants showing, and I have to scroll up and down while I'm trying to talk and see what's on the big screen. So it's a real multitasking job, and I can't check for all of your hands being raised. So be patient if you raise your hand, and I'll get to you because I do scroll up and down as I go through the presentation. Also, because there are so many people on here tonight, we're not going to use the text questions. I don't have anybody helping me, so this would be very cumbersome to try to pay attention to your text questions and get those answered too, so we're not going to use that. So let's see if everybody got the briefing right. Would everyone please raise their hand now? All right, I don't see any hands going up. Oh, there's some. Okay. All right, great. Okay, I'm going to open up Adam Mason's mic. Are you there, Adam? Okay, don't hear anything from Adam. I'm going to open up Barry Michelson. Are you there? I'm beginning to think we're having some kind of audio problems. All right. Stand by. Charles Lee, are you on? Okay, I see Charles Lee raised your hand. Charles, I'm going to put your hand down. Raise it again if you can hear me okay. All right, good. Well, at least we've got that going. I don't know what's happening this end with the, but at least you're all receiving me. So I'm putting everybody's hands down, and that's the end of the crew briefing. And as you've noticed already, this is a PowerPoint presentation. But there's no sleeping allowed, even though it is a PowerPoint and you're sitting in front of your computer at the privacy of your office or home, because you're going to get a Wings Program credit for this. You get a basic knowledge 1 credit for attending the webinar this evening. The webinar sponsors are the FAA Safety Team and the Center for Airmanship Excellence. All right, now what we usually do here is share a little bit with the folks that are on, and so I'm going to open up Barry's mic again because I know you're hearing me, Barry, and let's see if I can hear you. Would you give me a short count, please? No, I'm still not hearing you. Well, we have a technical glitch, wouldn't you know it? This is the first time I run into this. Not having audio on this end when I can transmit okay. All right, well, I'll tell you what we'll do then. We'll dispense with the interaction here. I just started hearing some noise. Barry, are you there? I suspect it's in my headset here, and but if I turn on the speakers, we'll have a heck of a feed. So I have to check this out later. Sorry about that. Alrighty, everybody's mics are muted again. We'll proceed. What we're going to do this evening is examine an airmanship-related accident that could have been prevented if the pilot had been practicing Airmanship 2.0. This case study involves a fatal crash that occurred during an IFR charter flight. Now, before we can talk about how the lack of Airmanship 2.0 contributed to this flight, to this accident, we've got to orient you on what Airmanship 2.0 is. Now, I know I've noticed several names of the folks here this evening who have attended other webinars in this series, so that you've heard this briefing before. So this is going to take about 5 minutes. So if you want to step out and have a cup of coffee or whatever, come on back. Or if you want to watch it again, I think that'd be good for you. But I'm going to give you guys the 41,000-foot recon flyby here of what Airmanship 2.0 is. Now, I've got to start out by saying that's as defined by the Center for Airmanship Excellence. You can't find Airmanship 2.0 in the AIM or in any manuals, any FAA documents. This is a term that we chose to use to talk about all of the airmanship things that we think we ought to be doing, and that's why I'm going to give you the quick run through on here. But I just want to emphasize this is our definition. It's not a formal definition of Airmanship 2.0. Also, I want to emphasize that this is all in the context of personal flying. We're not really talking about Airmanship 2.0 as it applies to military and airlines and other things, except to look at how they're doing it when we talk about it. But this is all about us, personal flyers. Guys are out here flying for our own personal enjoyment or transportation, combination thereof. Airmanship 2.0 asks the question, if I don't fly right, should I fly at all? That's a pretty heavy question. And Airmanship 2.0 answers the question with Chuck Yeager's quote, if you're going to fly, do it right. An interesting thing about this quote is I pulled it out of Colonel Tony Kern's Redefining Airmanship book. He has this quote from Yeager in there, but Kern points out that Yeager was saying this way back when he was that young fighter pilot type and then the young test pilot type. So this is something he just started saying when he got a lot of gray hair on his head. So Yeager says, if you're going to fly, do it right. So that's one way to look at Airmanship 2.0. It's doing it right. Now, that doing it right is in the eye of the beholder, so let me talk a little bit more about that. Airmanship 2.0 is a new paradigm in personal flying. It's based on tried and true airmanship principles that have proven to be effective with the airlines and the military. However, they've been modified for use by us personal flyers in today's flight environment at a reasonable cost. So it's no sense in having all these things when none of us can afford them. So our analysis shows that we can all have what I'm about to show you here at a reasonable cost. Airmanship 2.0 is a new way for you to enjoy your flying. It's a new approach to maximizing the personal rewards you get from flying. And Airmanship 2.0 increases the value you get for your flying dollar, and we're all looking for that. Airmanship 2.0 continuously enhances your airmanship skills, knowledge, and capabilities. Airmanship 2.0, in other words, is a surefire way for you to become a safer, more proficient aviator. Airmanship 2.0 includes flying within an airmanship development support organization. That's another term that the Center for Airmanship Excellence has coined to give us a way to talk about the kind of flight operation that we all need to have to practice Airmanship 2.0 within. So this Airmanship 2.0 includes flying within an ADSO. Also, it includes belonging to a high-performing safety culture, a formal safety culture, not just some folks to get together and have said, oh yeah, we have a safety culture because we're concerned about safety. It's much more defined than that, much more technical, has these elements and more involved in the safety culture. So you have to belong to a safety culture. And also you have to use, if you're practicing Airmanship 2.0, a safety management system. And here you can see a quick overview of a safety management system. That's safety policy, safety risk management, safety assurance, and safety promotion. And again, highly structured, a lot of details to it. So again, it's not just saying, well, yeah, we have a safety management system. It's a real system. And it's been working, these have been working at the airlines and the military. Airmanship 2.0 provides you with structured airmanship challenges that are fun, offer recognition and rewards, are bite-sized, and provide continuous airmanship improvement. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later. Airmanship 2.0 includes this formula: airmanship challenges plus flying fun plus recognition plus rewards equals continuous airmanship development. So this is a quick, easy way to think of how Airmanship 2.0 works and how it can work for you to continuously make you a better aviator. Airmanship 2.0 includes your formal airmanship training. So the formal training you get at a flight school where you're getting a new certificate or rating, or it's recurrent training. That's your formal structured training. But it also includes your informal airmanship training. And by this we mean every flight you fly. If you're practicing Airmanship 2.0, you have a training plan in your mind, something you're trying to accomplish on that flight that will make you a better aviator. And that equals your personal airmanship development plan. To practice Airmanship 2.0 properly and to properly advance continuously in your airmanship, you have to have a plan. And it's a formal plan with a calendar and schedule, and it's got elements laid out, and you put this plan together with a mentor pilot, and it generally, most guys do it for a 12-month period. Airmanship 2.0 includes a personal training team, and that training team is made up of training management, mentor pilots, senior instructors, associate instructors. So rather than just having one instructor to go to for training, if you're practicing Airmanship 2.0, you have this whole team that's helping you to continuously become a better aviator. Airmanship 2.0 includes some airmanship development tools, and here's just one of them I want to show you. The key to airmanship development is personal critique of every flight that you fly. That gets a lot more value for your flying dollar, keeps you safer, makes you a better aviator. You can do that critique from memory, and I hope you're doing that now, and that's okay, but you know how fallible memory is. You're better off having the exact data that you can look at to analyze the flight. So with a system like this is called an Apereo 1000 system, Vision 1000 system. Here you can see, oops, wait a minute, this isn't, I'm hitting the wrong button. Here you can see the unit. This is a flight data recorder with a video camera in it, and it also records the audio. It's going through the intercom system and over the air, and it's mounted in the overhead usually in the aircraft in the cockpit. So the whole flight is video recorded, but also all the flight parameters are recorded: altitude, airspeed, heading, acceleration, bank angle, pitch. All of that is recorded, so that then after the flight you can download that data. I should say upload it to the internet from the unit. It has a little SD card in it, and then you can access it via the internet and look at that flight. You can listen to the audio, you can watch the video, you can also analyze the flight in many different ways. For example, here, oops, I'm sorry, I keep hitting the wrong button. Here you can see that you can look at it graphically. It can show you a view of the aircraft from any angle you want. Shows the flight instruments. This, of course, is not the video. This is graphic representations. You can call up the video too if you want it. And here's some graphs, some tracing. So these can be very helpful. Let's say you were practicing steep turns, and this was your altitude trace. You can see you were doing pretty good. And about halfway around the turn, you got a little lazy and let off on that back pressure a little bit, dipped down a little bit, and then you came back up, did okay for the rest of the turn. So that kind of thing. Incredible tool for self-critiquing your flights. So that's part of Airmanship 2.0. Airmanship 2.0 includes the aircraft you fly. Now, I fly older airplanes. I've got nothing against older airplanes. For me, that's there are increased risks with older airplanes. So if I'm flying myself, generally I accept those risks. However, we as pilots have a responsibility to the people that we take flying with us, and our philosophy under Airmanship 2.0 is we're going to fly, when we take passengers with us, the safest airplanes we can fly. And that includes all the modern safety features, the airbags, the parachute recovery systems, the glass cockpits, autopilots, all of those things that can make flying much safer if the airplane's flowing properly and the pilot knows what he's doing, and on. But it can make it much safer. But it's our responsibility as pilots, when we take people with us, to make them as safe as possible. So we think we should be flying these kinds of airplanes. And of course, there's LSAs now that fit that bill that aren't too expensive to fly, and so forth. Now, we do also include, though, older airplanes, new manufacturer but older design, like this American Legend Cub with a parachute recovery system in it, so that you can get proficient in a tailwheel airplane and then stay proficient over the course of time by periodically flying the tailwheel airplane, because as we all know, the biggest category of accidents for us personal flyers is takeoff, landing, and maneuvering, for landing and maneuvering after takeoff. Flying a tailwheel airplane will go a long way to giving you the skills you need to avert that personal disaster of an accident on takeoff or landing or maneuvering. Airmanship 2.0 includes the way that you fly these airplanes: personal transportation, challenge, and just for the fun. So it encompasses how you fly under all those different scenarios. Airmanship 2.0 includes a flight operations support team. This is a huge factor that we believe would make personal flying much safer if we all used it. It's based on the concept of shared decision making and checks and balances. The airlines and the military have been using this system for a long time, and it works very well. It's one of the reasons that they have such high safety records, good safety records, and that is that the dispatch team, a dispatcher, FAA licensed dispatcher, has to agree with the pilot in command that the flight is safe to operate, or the flight can't go. So in other words, the pilot in command can't decide unilaterally to go fly. Well, we could make that commitment in our ADSO, our Airmanship Development Support Organization, that has the flight operations support team. We could all agree that we're not going to go unless the dispatcher agrees with us. That dispatcher has a whole team to help them look at all the factors that need to be assessed to make that go, no-go decision. So the flight ops team can do trip planning, which unloads you from those little nitty-gritty things, the rent-a-cars, the hotel rooms, all that sort of thing, while you're getting ready for a trip, so you can think about the trip itself, about your flying, what needs to be done. The dispatch operation could also do the flight planning for you. Again, it's a bigger team, has more resources, can take more time to do a more thorough job, present you with the plan, the dispatch package, and then you as the PIC determine whether or not the plan is a good one. Now, if you are one of those people that likes to do flight planning, and I like to do flight planning, but I don't like to do it all the time, but I do like to do it, then you can do the flight plan, submit it to dispatch, and the team will check it. So checks and balances, shared decision making. Very important. We think about 80% of all personal flying accidents would be avoided if we had shared decision making, if we practice shared decision making. Flight dispatch, in other words. Also, if your aircraft is equipped properly with a satellite tracking system like the Spider Track system, the dispatch operation will be tracking your flight. And of course, if you're IFR, they'll be tracking it that way too on the flight tracker. But the dispatcher's watching your progress. If he or she sees something that's happening, maybe a pop-up TFR, an MOA went hot, weather changed, they can call you up on a sat phone, because if you have a sat phone in your airplane, and they're now have become relatively inexpensive and light. They can go in light single-engine airplanes now. In fact, Garmin has a nice system out, and you can buy off the shelf right now. So the dispatch can call you. Also, you can call dispatch, of course, anytime you want, so you're never out there alone. And it's, when things are changing, you know, sometimes it's real tough to get a hold of flight service to get the info you need. And with the sat phone calling up dispatch, flight operations support team, they can help you out right away with any kind of in-flight support you need. One of the highest risk areas in flying and airmanship is a change of plan in the air. You know how difficult that can be. So if you have the flight ops support team around to make the changes for you that need to be made, you know, you're going to divert to an alternate, or you're going to find a new alternate. Then they'll set up the car there, whatever alternate arrangements, set up to have fuel, whatever it is, so that you're unloaded from all those tasks. And then trip management, because no planned trip ever goes as planned, and as those changes happen, the flight ops support team can take care of that for you. Again, unloading you to be paying attention to flying and having more fun doing it too. Well, that's just the tip of the iceberg on Airmanship 2.0. I told you it's going to be the 41,000-foot recon pass. If you want to learn more about it, a lot more about it, go to airmanshipexcellence.org. That's the Center for Airmanship Excellence's website. And go into the Airmanship 2.0 subweb, and you'll find a lot of information there to satisfy your curiosity about Airmanship 2.0. All right, well, here's where I usually pause for questions or comments. Let me take just a little quick break here for a few seconds to see if I can get a handle on this on my audio problem.
Welcome to GoToWebinar, Web Events Made Easy.
Get these guys all desktop up here now. Oh boy. If you can hear, I can't hear you.
Welcome to GoToWebinar, Web Events Made Easy.
We're having technical difficulties. Yeah. Oh wait, no, I'm getting it.
Now I can hear somebody.
Testing.
Welcome to GoToWebinar, Web Events Made Easy.
I don't know if I have my mic on. Testing 1, 2.
Can anybody hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I just switched to a different headset. The trouble is, we get a lot of feedback. So, I think what the best thing to do here, guys, I really apologize for this. Again, this is the first time this has happened. But I think the best thing to do is just to abort the mission. And I'll figure out how we can reschedule this and let everybody know about it. I really appreciate everybody taking the time to come on tonight. I really wanted to share this case study with you. It's very interesting. There's a lot of very interesting aspects to it, and I think we all could learn a lot about it. So I'm going to terminate the webinar, and I'll notify you as to when we're going to run it again. Thanks again.
No problem. Thanks.
Good night.
All right.